It's a Sunday afternoon. Good coffee, nothing due, nobody texting you anything urgent, just quiet. You open Instagram. Not even looking for anything specific, just filling a little gap. Then you put the phone down. And something strange has happened. Same room, same work, same weekend. But somehow your life feels downgraded. Nothing changed. So why does the score suddenly feel real? And before someone says, just put the phone down, let me defend this for a second. I wasn't doom scrolling. I wasn't hate watching. I was taking a break. 15 minutes, after a long week, on a Sunday afternoon. And I'm not even jealous. When I see my college roommates' engagement photos, I think, good for them. Sincerely. I'm not a bitter person. I didn't send a passive-aggressive text. I just scrolled past. And it's not even just the phone. At work last week, a colleague presented a side project. Beautiful slides, polished demo. I clapped. I meant it. Then I went back to my desk and my own project, same progress as that morning, suddenly felt small. Not because I'm jealous, because something else had moved. So why does looking at someone else's life make mine feel like it lost value?
I did this yesterday. A friend posted that they'd finished a draft of their book. I was happy for them, sincerely. Then I went back to my own writing, and it felt thinner, less important, like the font had shrunk while I wasn't looking. And I sat with that slightly embarrassed feeling for about 10 minutes before I noticed something. My writing hadn't changed. Not a single word was different. The only thing that changed was what I'd just looked at. I want you to hold on to this picture. Your project. The progress bar where it actually is. 60%. Not where it feels, where it actually is. Just hold that. We're going to need it. Clue 1. Let's run the most obvious explanation first.
Maybe this is just jealousy. I see something someone else has. I want it. I feel bad. That's just human nature. It's not a pattern. It's envy.
Reasonable theory. Let's test it. When you saw your roommate's engagement photos, were you actively wishing that you were engaged?
No, not really. I'm not even in that life stage. It wasn't about being engaged.
When your colleague's demo landed at the meeting, did you walk back to your desk wishing you were them?
No, I was happy with my own project. That's the strange part. I was happy with it before the meeting. Same project, same morning, same facts. Wait. If it were jealousy, I'd want their thing. But I don't. The apartment was fine before I scrolled. The project was fine before the meeting. Then, somehow, they weren't. It's not that I want what they have. What I already had started feeling different. After.
Right, you just spotted the difference. Envy says, I want their life. The comparison toll says, why doesn't my life count anymore? Cross jealousy off the board. Clue 2, closer this time.
Maybe it's just social media. The platforms are built to make me feel bad. If I just deleted Instagram, maybe this would stop.
And just to be clear, this isn't social media bad. Comparison can be useful. Comparing salaries before a negotiation? Useful. Studying how someone solved a problem? Useful. That kind of comparison serves a question you actually asked it. The trap is different. It's comparison you didn't ask for, a background process. You opened the app for a break, and your brain quietly returned with a verdict about you. Now, back to your social media is the problem theory. The colleague's demo wasn't on Instagram, it was a meeting, and it did the same thing. Deleting the app might close one road. It doesn't take down the toll booth. And here's where your body has been telling you something, that quiet deflation in your chest after scrolling. The heaviness behind the eyes that doesn't attach to one clear thought. That's not random. That's part of the clue. Hold that sensation. We'll come back to it.
So, delete the app isn't quite it either. The app makes it easier. But the booth runs in meetings, dinner parties, friend group texts.
Cross social media is the problem off too. And the most dangerous part is this. The feeling arrives wearing the costume of clarity.
Like, oh, maybe this is what I really think about my life.
Exactly. But it may not be clarity. It may just be a receipt. Clue 3. This is the one most people miss. Look at what's still on the board: your project, your enough meter, the toll booth icon, and the gap between what the board said 10 minutes ago and what it says now. Here's what's missing between them. There's no event.
No event?
Nothing actually happened to your project. Nothing actually happened to your apartment. Nothing actually happened to your weekend. The progress bar is still at 60%. The apartment has the same square footage. The weekend has the same hours. But the meter that decides what counts as enough, that meter moved. Your brain didn't ask whether this person's life was actually comparable to yours. It dragged their curated output into your measuring system. The booth charged before you knew it was running. There's a name for one piece of this in cognitive science: reference dependence. Your brain doesn't measure your life against a fixed standard. It often measures it against the most recent reference points it absorbed. You scroll. Your reference points shift. The progress bar that felt satisfying at 60% now sits next to a memory of a polished demo. 60% didn't move. The thing you were measuring it against did. Think of your brain as running a toll road. As comparisons pass through, the conference photo, the engagement, the new apartment, the colleague's demo, an invisible booth can quietly collect a fee. Not just a feeling, a tiny downward shift in what counts as enough. One charge is invisible. A day's worth of charges is what you feel when you put the phone down. This is the comparison toll. Your brain doesn't just compare and move on. The comparison can quietly shift what enough means, without your permission, using data that wasn't complete to begin with. And once you see this, you'll see it everywhere, not just online.
The dinner party. Someone mentions their kid's school, the one with the wait list. Suddenly, your perfectly decent school choice feels questionable. Toll charged. The holiday catch-up. Your cousin's been running every morning. Your gym routine, 3 days a week, solid yesterday, suddenly feels like it barely counts. Toll charged. The friend's announcement you reply to warmly. Congratulations, so happy for you, heart emoji. And then 20 minutes spent quietly renegotiating your own life in your head. Toll charged. And that one, you'd probably never admit. The text from a friend. We just bought a house. And the breath you take before you reply. That tiny breath. That's the toll booth processing the transaction.
Same mechanism. Every single one. A comparison you didn't request. A fee you didn't notice. A meter that moved before you could ask if it was measuring anything real.
So the cleaner the curated output, the more I trust the deflation.
And the harder it is to notice you weren't measuring anything real.
So that deflation, the I'm finally seeing my life clearly feeling after scrolling. That feeling is the receipt, not the truth. A receipt proves something was charged. It doesn't prove the charge was fair. And the dissatisfaction, that vague, not enough with no specific object, that's not my intuition telling me to want more. That's a meter that just got moved by what someone else decided to show me.
Yes.
I haven't been ungrateful. I haven't been weak because I can't just stop comparing. My brain is running an automatic process that can shift what enough means every time I absorb someone else's curated output. And I've been trusting the result as if it were accurate.
That's the comparison toll. Each comparison can charge a fee, a tiny adjustment to your internal standard for what counts as enough. The individual charges are invisible, but the cumulative balance is what you feel at the end of a scroll, at the end of a dinner party, or at the end of a day when nothing went wrong, but everything feels insufficient. The feeling was real. The measurement was not.
Nothing about my life changed. My meter did.
Here's the detection tool. 2 sensations, both real, both worth listening to, but one is more likely to be a meter charge than a verdict. Sensation A, the toll charge. Behind the eyes, in the chest, sometimes a sinking feeling in the stomach. Quiet deflation. Vague heaviness without a specific object. Restlessness with nothing it actually wants. After scrolling, after the meeting, after the catch-up. The booth just charged. A meter moved. The data that moved it was incomplete. Sensation B, a genuine want. Forward in the chest. A slight forward lean. A specific desire tied to a specific thing. Energizing, not deflating. You can name what you want. When that want survives a glass of water and a deep breath, When it persists outside the comparison context, that's information worth investigating. Your body may give you an earlier signal than your thoughts do, not because chest deflation is a unique fingerprint of comparison, it isn't, but because timing matters. The deflation that arrives right after scrolling, with nothing specific behind it, is a useful pattern to listen for. And sometimes, the toll has a very specific shape, the urge to close the app and then, without deciding to, open it again. Not because you enjoyed it, because the meter moved, and part of you is trying to figure out why. This week, when you put the phone down, notice your chest first. Quiet deflation, no specific want? That's the meter being read. A specific want? Energy forward? That's information worth keeping. And one quick reset, before you trust the new score. Ask yourself, what did I think before I saw their highlight? Not what you should have thought, what you actually did think, half an hour ago, before any of this started. You don't have to choose one sensation forever. You don't have to fix one, you just have to know which one you're in. One tiny experiment. We call it the toll receipt. 3 steps. 0 failure design. If you do it at all, it works. Step 1. Morning rating. Before any scrolling, before any meeting, before any catch-up, pick one area of your life. Career, body, home, relationship, creative work, whatever's top of mind. Rate how you feel about it on a gut level, not how you think you should feel. Just the first number that comes up. 1 to 10. Write the number down. Step 2. Live the day. Don't change anything. Don't avoid scrolling. Don't try to feel positive. Just live the day. The booth will run, or it won't. Either way is fine. The experiment isn't asking you to do anything different. Step 3. Evening rating. Rate the same area again. Same question. Same gut response. Then compare the 2 numbers. If there's a gap, even half a point, pause. Check the body. Where do you feel the difference? Is it in your chest? Behind your eyes? Your stomach? That physical location is where the receipt tends to land for you. Noticing where it shows up, just noticing, is the first step toward reading the charges before they clear.
I'm going to try it with a project. Morning rating. Live the day. Evening rating. I want to see what the toll actually costs.
And if the numbers are the same, your booth may charge in a different area, or on a different day. The experiment isn't about finding a gap, it's about learning to read the meter. Whether the number moves or not, you've taken your first conscious look at a system that's been running without your permission. The toll booth doesn't disappear because you named it. It will keep running. You'll still feel the deflation after scrolling sometimes. That's okay. New stance. You stop confusing the receipt for a verdict. This week, pick one area. Morning rating. Evening rating. Comment with 2 words, area and gap. Writing, -1.5. Fitness, -0.5. Home, same. No explanation needed. Mine was writing. Morning, around 7. Evening after a normal day of social input, closer to 5.5. Nothing about the draft changed, but my meter had. And if this felt familiar, if you notice the meter adjusting your sense of who you are, not just what you have, check out the version lag. Same family, different road. The comparison toll adjusts what feels like enough. The version lag adjusts who you think you are. Both run on outdated or incomplete data. Both charge you without a receipt. You're not ungrateful. You're not weak. You're not bad at being happy with what you have. You're someone with a brain that runs automatic comparisons against incomplete data and charges you for comparisons that were never fair in the first place. The toll booth won't close just because you noticed it. But you can start reading the receipts.